Hi, I'm Jeff Gorder, Account Executive at Crisis Care Network. I've always been fascinated by history. For some reason, that subject was always one of my favorites in school. And while many of my classmates viewed history as a tedious memorization of dates and names, I loved it. I think for me, I saw history as an unfolding story, and I always tried to put myself into the scene. What would it have been like to walk the streets of ancient Rome? What would I have felt sailing with the pilgrims? I still love history. But now, as a crisis responder, I also think about history a little more seriously. What would I have done during the Chicago fire? How would I have felt after Kennedy was assassinated? What if I, like one of my uncles, had landed on the beach during D-Day? How would I react? Would I rise to the occasion or crumble? As the saying goes, these are the times that try men's and women's souls. You see, we don't have to go back to these kinds of major events to experience these same challenges. Each of us has our own story, complete with events that we wish we hadn't had to face. Many of those events occurring at our workplace. It can be an armed robbery, a machinery accident, a natural disaster. We don't get to choose these events, but we do get to decide how we will react, how we will view ourselves in response to these events. We have a choice to be either victims, survivors, or even thrivers. Victims describe a wide range of reactions that are uncomfortable, even painful. They have a sense of being stuck, of being helpless, feeling out of control. They're often angry, and yet there's a sense of passivity about them as they're overwhelmed by the emotional content of what's going on. They are looking for rescue outside, for somebody to come in and rescue them. There's often an avoidance and a blame that's involved, and frankly, a preoccupation with the past. Please understand, this is not to minimize, blame, or dismiss those reactions, but it reflects their own self-report that they do not perceive themselves as able to make any difference in their situation. Survivors, on the other hand, have a sense of having gotten through it. They're beginning to take control back. They describe an optimism about the future. Their emotions come in waves, but they're able to manage them. They have a belief that they have the resources to live one day at a time. In fact, they're defining a new normal as they're moving forward. They're influenced but not controlled by the past because their focus is on the present. Now, thrivers are those folks who not only make it through, but describe themselves as having grown as a result of the event. They're characterized by a commitment to moving forward. They seem more self-determined. They're active and engaged in their own recovery. They acknowledge emotions honestly and directly, acquiring peace and renewal as they're moving forward. They have a heightened compassion for others, and they look to the future. This might sound like a lofty response, but history, once again, is filled with examples both big and small of individuals, groups, companies that did just exactly that. They thrived in the midst of difficult circumstances. It was Winston Churchill who, at the height of the London bombings in World War II, said, "We shall draw from the heart of suffering itself the means of inspiration and survival." Our challenge, whether you're a business leader seeking to pull your team together after a tragic loss, a bank manager walking alongside your employees following a robbery, or a crisis responder going to a work site and delivering aid on the worst day of those employees' lives, our challenge remains the same: to bring a message of hope and resilience that inspires us to tap into the best of each of us, the indomitability of the human spirit.